Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Minnesota.
They've had their all-star break. Now the Twins have to get back to the business at hand, and that is to climb up farther in the American League Central race. They start the second half of the season, the first of 4, against the Kansas City Royals, and they start the second half 6.5 games behind Detroit in the American League Central. The turning point for both these teams seems to have been the series in Kansas City that started on June 2nd. Since then, the Twins have been playing the best baseball in the American League, while the Royals have fallen back to last place in the division, having won just 12 games in a month and a half. And we welcome you to Target Field. I'm Richard Bramer, welcoming back Bert Blyleven. Good to have you back, partner.
Thank you very much. And Tom Kelly, thank you very much for the great job he did.
Well, the Twins 6.5 games back in their division, but they are not in uncharted territory. They've kind of gone through this act before.
Yeah, they really have. Under Ron Gardenhire, since he became manager back in 2002, the Twins have found themselves at the All-Star break. 2004, only a half game behind the leader at that time, but look at 2006, 11 games back, and still came back and won the division. How have they done it? Well, you know what? You need good pitching, first of all, and the Twins have been able to do that. The Twins, have, before the All-Star break, you see where their ERA is, and then in postseason, since 2002 under Ron Gardenhire and Rick Anderson, the pitching staff just gets better.
Well, that's the hope for Twins fans, that this Twins team that can use the All-Star break but come back after the break and continue to play outstanding baseball. So what do they need to do here in the final 10 weeks?
Well, it's good to get guys back on the field that are healthy. And you know what? Just before the break, they activated Delman Young. Delman Young last season, if he can repeat what he did last year, look at the numbers right there. Twins need Delman Young in the worst way to have that type of second half. Denard Span, in his career, he's always been a very good hitter in the second half. He looks like he's ready for some rehab, and hopefully he's going to be back soon. And then you have Jason Kubel. Kubel, he was the leader of the offense for the Twins early on in the first 52 ball games. You see his numbers. It's going to have him back. And then remember, Justin Morneau. He's going to come back hopefully in August. They want him to come back for a purpose.
Well, not everybody had an All-Star break. When we come back, we'll learn about Michael Kadyr's All-Star participation.
Dyer, who was in Arizona representing the Twins in the 2011 All-Star Game. Fox Sports wired Michael Kadire for sound that evening, and here's what his in-game experience sounded like.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. You too.
Thank you. Nice swing. That's what he is, fastball slider, right? Isn't that change-up too, right? Vintage.
He's got some weird pitch that's like, you could call it a change-up, but I call it a split-knuckle curve swing. It's a wiffle ball. I mean, it comes at you hard and just takes
just dives.
No idea where it's going.
Howdy, baby. Nice shot. Does he throw that hard the whole game as a starter now?
All game. It's unbelievable, dude.
No, I knew he did as reliever. I faced him.
Michael Kadire starts in right field. Bats cleanup tonight. Francisco Liriano getting set to take the ball. First pitch, Twins or Royals coming up next on Fox Sports North.
On Fox Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. The Twins went into the All-Star break having won 4 straight series. Michael Kadire, kind of a whirlwind break, flew to Phoenix on Sunday night, played in the game on Tuesday, and then flew back to the Twin Cities on Wednesday. And Ned Yost and the Royals waiting for the Twins as we begin the unofficial second half of the season. The Menards batting order for the Royals. Chris Getz in the leadoff spot. Melky Cabrera having a very good year hitting second. Alex Gordon having a very good year. Then Billy Butler, Eric Hosmer, Jeff Francoeur, Mike Moustakas, Brian Pena, and Alcides Escobar.
Well, it'll be Francisco Liriano starting the second half, so-called second half for the Twins, making his 16th start, his second against the Kansas City Royals.
First pitch inside to Getz.
And the scouting report on Liriano, which Francisco will pitch tonight? Will it be the one that pitched a no-hitter or is it the one that has been struggling finding that strike zone with his fastball? And that's what he needs to do, Dick. He needs to control his fastball, trust his fastball. Don't try to strike out everybody. Make him hit your good fastball. He's got good movement on that pitch.
And there's a strike 2-1. He has roughly alternated a good start with a bad start for about a month now. And that's not going to be enough for the Twins as they hope to catch up with everybody else in the division. Ground ball to second. KCA covers it and throws to Luke Hughes for the first out. Check out the Twins in the field. Delman Young back in the lineup in left. Ben Revere in center. Michael Kadire in right. Valencia, Nishioka, KCA, and Luke Hughes at first. And Joe Mauer behind the plate. Now, we showed you the graphic. Back in 2006, the Twins were 11.5 games back at the All-Star break, came back and won the division. And within that comeback, if you will, was Liriano absolutely dominant from the time they moved him into the rotation till the time he went out with the elbow surgery. And that's, I think, what they're going to need again here from Liriano this year. Sharp ground ball base hit to left for Cabrera.
I think you're right on as far as Liriano. You look at his numbers. 80 now 4 innings pitched. He's allowed only 70 now 71 hits. 49 runs, 2 unearned runs, 72 strikeouts. Good numbers all around. The ERA high on the high side because of the 45 walks. Too many free bases for Liriano. If he can cut that down and trust his stuff, he should have a good second half.
Here's Alex Gordon, who had a very good first half. Some thought he might be the Kansas City All-Star representative, and instead it was relief pitcher Aaron Crow. Gordon went into the break with a batting average just under 300. Popped foul and out of play. Billy Butler in the on-deck circle. You look at this Royal team, and yeah, they're in last place. They've been there many times before. But you get a sense that they've turned a little bit of a corner, that they've got some people in place now that they think can be a part of a rebuilding process.
Well, and that's rebuilding, Dick. You look at their record, they'll probably lose 90 games this year.
Little good fortune for the Twins. No, maybe not. Off of Liriano, and then KCA tried to flip the ball to Nishioka, and he couldn't handle the flip. And instead of one out, maybe even a double play, everybody's safe.
Kind of fumbles all around right here. Liriano reaching back and slowing that ball down, deflecting it over to KCA, who right there flips it over to Nishioka, and then Nishioka just couldn't hold on to the ball. We'll see how they rule it right here.
Error charged to Nishioka. So first and second, and one away. Billy Butler at the plate.
Always a tough play, Dick, when you know the shortstop right there is trying to find the bag and then try to find that ball, and he just could not find a handle of the baseball. Is that the baseball term? Nishioka charged with the error, his 7th of the year.
No chance for the Royals to take advantage of a Twins error here in the first inning. This one to right, playable for Kadire. That's out number 2. 2 on, 2 out. Twins baseball brought to you in Sony High Definition. And for Liriano, an opportunity here right away in this first inning to pitch around some adversity and strand some runners. And we talked about the high walks, a low number of hits, but he's had a tendency in situations like this to overthrow and make a bad situation worse.
Well, this is a situation, too, as a pitcher, you pick up your defense. Guy made an error behind you. You want to get off this field with not allowing any runs.
Slider and a swing and a miss. Hosmer, the hitter for Kansas City.
Now, Hosmer against left-handed pitchers hitting just 179. Hitting 268 overall in his rookie season.
And he's facing this left-hander for the first time. 2 swinging strikes at that slider.
Yeah, 2 nasty sliders right there. Great location. There are the numbers. Good numbers against right-handers. Just 21 years old. Royals #1 pick back in 2008. out of Plantation, Florida.
And that might have been a changeup, just missing the inside corner. Hosmer was the first highly touted prospect to be called up this year. Mike Moustakas followed a few weeks later, and the Royals decided to let these guys get some experience in 2011. One and two. And then misses low, 2-2. How many fastballs has Liriano thrown, and how many has he thrown for strikes?
About 2 or 3 of the maybe 7 or 8 that he's thrown. He's got a total of 14 pitches, 8 for strikes. But you see Liriano, he'll always throw 100 pitches, 50 for strikes, 50 for balls, 50-50 type ratio.
And now full count. That frees up the runners to leave early.
You know what? This is wasting pitches to me. To this hitter right here. First 2 pitches were nasty sliders, and then they tried like a changeup in, and then the fastball, and there's a slider right there. If the guy has a weak swing on a slider, go ahead and throw him the third one. Just strike him out, get it over with.
Full count to Hosmer. And he gets a piece of it to stay alive. Now that's spoken from a man who had a curveball that hitters knew was coming and still couldn't touch.
But you stand out there on that mound, and you can watch after you release that ball that, hey, this guy's not having a very good swing at my slider. I'm going to keep throwing it until he proves to me he can hit it. Now he's in a situation 3-2. Runners are going to be going. Now he's got to throw the ball over the plate.
And he throws it in the dirt.
This is low.
So now the bases are loaded for Jeff Francoeur.
So to me, that is not a good pitch sequence in that at-bat to Hosmer. You had him 0-2, and then you lost him. You lost him. You lost him, yeah. That's a word.
Well, here's Francoeur, who has had a very solid year for the Royals. And with a cast of young, inexperienced players, this veteran has kind of led the way for the Royals.
A good leader right here in Jeff Francoeur. Very solid baseball player. And he brings a fresh attitude with him day in and day out.
And he swings over the slider, strike one.
He's almost the epitome, I would say, of a Michael Kadire type player. He just plays hard, and he kind of sometimes goes unnoticed. Kadire finally got some recognition this year, making the All-Star team. But a guy that just plays hard.
Liriano gets ahead of Francoeur, and now pitch number 2 drifts wide, 1-1. So this will be his 20th pitch of the first inning. The Royals have gotten a hit, taken a Twins error, and a walk from Liriano to fill the bases. And 2-1.
Royals, very good hitting ball club, hitting .265 as a club. Only the Red Sox and the Rangers have a higher team batting average.
2-1 to Francoeur. Fouled back 2-2.
The Twins swept the Royals in KC last time they played together. And, back on June 2nd and to the 5th. The Twins pitched outstanding in that 4-game series. Royals, with runners in scoring position in that series, hit only .175.
A pretty big spot for Francoeur and for Liriano here in this first inning. 2-2. That kicks away from Mauer, and a run is going to score, and a second run is going to score, with Mauer flipping it toward home plate. So a wild pitch. There'll be an error charge to Mauer, and 2 runs have scored here in the first inning.
Well, again, Liriano all over the place. His slider gets away from Joe and ends up going toward that third baseline. See the slider hits off his chest protector. Liriano, your job is to get over there to home plate. Mauer trying to flip it to home plate, but Liriano a little bit late getting to home plate. And the second run scores.
So an ugly first inning. 3-2 to Francoeur. And Mauer hangs on to the foul tip, but the strike 3 in the third out comes one pitch too late. The Royals get a couple in the first. was an ugly first half of an inning. Bernard's batting order for the Twins as they try to come back from an early 2-0 deficit. Ben Revere, Alexi Casilla, Joe Mauer, Michael Kadire, Danny Valencia. Great numbers against Bruce Chen, Delman Young, Trevor Plouffe, Luke Hughes, and Tsuyoshi Nishioka.
Yeah, left-handed pitcher Bruce Chen on the mound, making his 11th start, his second against the Twins. He missed some time with a sore shoulder, a left lat that gave him a lot of problems. Missed about 6 weeks, and over his career he struggled against the Twins, making his 5th career start. In his 4 previous starts, he's 1-2 with an ERA at 6.75.
1-0 to Ben Revere. That floats over. We may as well turn off the radar gun, should we? It's 81, and it'll get up to 85 or 86 with his fastball.
This guy's a pitcher. You know, Liriano right now is still a thrower. This guy knows how to pitch because he doesn't throw, you know, in the 90s. Changes speeds well.
And a fastball on the outside corner. So he threw one breaking pitch at 81, another one at 71. Then he painted the outside corner with whatever his fastball was.
By dropping down a little bit, so changing arm angles.
Northland Ford defense for the Royals. Gordon Cabrera, Francoeur in the outfield. Mustakas, Escobar, Getz, and Hosmer, the infielders. Brian Pena behind the plate. Here's Alexi Casilla. The Twins will have just 2 left-handed batters in the lineup. Casilla, of course, a switch hitter. And he takes a ball. Revere and Mauer, the only lefties in the lineup. Jim Thome was in the original starting lineup, but he was scratched a couple hours before game time. He wanted another day to help that injured toe and calf area recover. 1-1.
Yeah, left-handers actually coming into the ball game hitting .328 against Bruce Chen, where right-handers are hitting .249.
2-1. Swearing to bunt and taking ball 3.
He's given up 7 home runs overall, all the right-handed hitters. And opponents overall hitting .268.
Right down the middle. So a full count to Casilla. That's fair down the line. Casilla rounds first. He's going to hold up there with Francoeur, owner of a very strong arm, and he played the ball off the angled wall perfectly. A single for Casilla.
Yeah, nobody has more outfield assists more than Francoeur out in the outfield. And right here, he plays the carom perfectly. Ball just kind of hit the other way. Good piece of hitting by Alexi Casilla. Now it's up to him, Casilla, as he rounds the bag. You'd like to, you know, maybe hear Jerry White, but the ball's right in front of him, so he has to make that decision. Do I go for second or do I stay? And good move by Casilla, staying at first.
So here's Bauer with Casilla aboard. And a pitch down and away, ball 1. Joe into the break with a .243 batting average. And of course spending so much time on the disabled list. And 2-0. Casilla check back to the bag. One of the areas the Royals feel they've really improved upon is their infield defense. You talked about Francoeur in right, good outfielder, but they really think they've got a much better infield defense, and it starts with Hosmer, the first baseman, who's about as good as it gets with the glove. And another flip to first.
A lot of people said Hosmer, they kind of compare him to Wally Joyner when Wally Joyner first came up with the then called California Angels.
2-0 to Mauer. And another throw to first.
Well, Chen, 33 years old. He's been around the block. This is his 155th Major League start, his 303rd Major League team appearance, and the Royals are his 10th different ball club to pitch for at the Major League level.
Outside, 3-0 with Cuddyer on deck.
As baseball people would call him a crafty lefty. Yeah, not overpowering. He needs to hit his spots to be successful.
And Mauer takes an 83-mile-per-hour. Well, I hesitate to even call it a fastball, but I think that's what it was. A get-me-over fastball on 3-0.
But you know what he'll do is it may be 83, then the next one will be 85, and then maybe 86. He changes speeds very well, and he has confidence in 3 different pitches that he can throw over at any time. You have to, if you don't have an overpowering fastball, you have to rely on a very good changeup. He'll mix in a curveball. He'll throw the slide.
Now, Chen's numbers overall pretty good, an ERA at 3.26, yet the one sore spot for the Royals this year has been their starting pitching. They've found themselves where the Twins are right now so often this year, falling behind early and being unable to catch up.
A very good bullpen, but their starting staff has been terrible. Combined starting staff 19-39 with an ERA at 5.13. That's last in the American League.
Well, when you are 17 games below 500 and your starters alone are 20 games below 500, it's pretty easy to figure out where to point the finger. 3-2. We'll see if the Twins start KCA here with the Twins down a couple of runs in the first. And he was leaning toward second.
KCA with 13 stolen bases leads the Twins in that department. The Twins have 50 stolen bases on the year. They've been caught 21 times.
KCA goes and Mauer lashes it foul. That's a surprising thing for Joe, and granted he's trying to work his way back, and it's been a very frustrating year for him. One thing that's been frustrating or surprising is the number of strikeouts. He's struck out 20 times in 111 at bats. It's very high for him.
Chen doing a pretty good job of keeping KCA from getting a good jump.
And Mauer fouls it to the screen.
You can see right there, KCA, I mean, he has to almost wait until he releases that ball home to take off for second.
So I was mentioning the strikeouts for Joe, because this is a situation KCA can't get a real good jump. So Joe, if he doesn't make contact on a swing, you might very well see a strike him out, throw him out.
Yeah, Gardy right here, he's saying Joe's going to make contact, and hopefully it's in the gap somewhere. So if KCA is taken off, maybe he'll get that extra base.
And Chen, in this plate appearance, has thrown more to first than he has to home plate.
Yeah, I got the count to 4 and 3 at home first base.
KCA goes, and it's ball 4. So a close pitch, and Mauer ends up working out his 9th walk. Now the Twins are hoping to do what the Royals did, and that's do some damage after the leadoff man was retired.
Yeah, good at bat right there for Joe Mauer, fouling off some pitches and then showing off that great eye he has at the plate with the walk.
Wonderful experience for Michael Cuddyer. Coming in defensively for Miguel Cabrera, getting 1 at bat in the 9th inning, and lasted all of 1 pitch. And a big at bat here in the first inning, and he takes inside ball 1.
You cannot replace what Michael Cuddyer went through for his first All-Star appearance. A moment and moments he will never forget.
Inside again, 2-0. Michael had his own injury concerns in spring training with that wart surgically removed Didn't get a chance to play much in spring training, and I think that more than anything else is why he got off to a slow start.
Well, you can even go back to April when he didn't pick up an RBI for a long time.
And now 3-0 to Cuddyer with Valencia on deck.
And now Cuddyer 3 RBIs behind Danny Valencia for the club lead. And there's Danny right there.
Hey, I had a former manager work with me last weekend in Chicago. Let me put you in his. So you got to give Cuddyer the green light here, don't you?
Yeah, in this situation, yeah. But he has to look fastball in that somewhere he can hit a 3-run home run.
And Chen drops down sidearm and throws one at the knees. 3-1.
Again, thank Tom Kelly for sitting in my seat here. TK, thank you very much.
3-1 to Cuddyer. And he walks to fill the bases. So different means of filling the bases than the Royals, but here are the Twins with only one out and the tying run in scoring position.
Now, walks have not really been an issue for Bruce Chen. That's his second walk of the ball game, and of course this inning. But he came in with 20 walks, 2 intentional in 61 innings pitched.
Well, the numbers would suggest this is the guy the Twins want at the plate. We showed you before. He's 6 for 9 against Bruce Chen. Look what he's done in his career with the bases loaded.
Not bad numbers right there.
First grand slam came against the Royals and Zach Greinke in Kansas City last year. So Chen with a 2-0 lead, and he's on the ropes in the first inning. Ball 1 on a close pitch. At least it looked close from up here. Chen has thrown 24 pitches, only 11 strikes. And he threw 3 of them to Revere and striking him out to start the inning.
He's fallen behind on all 5 hitters so far.
2-0.
Ed Yost, former catcher, took over for Trey Hillman last year as manager of the Royals.
Chen's last start was against the White Sox. He pretty much shut them down over 6 innings, but that was back on July 6th. So all teams do it. The Twins did it. You come out of the All-Star break, you juggle your rotation, line people up. But in Chen's case, he's been a long time since he's been out there.
Well, you remember he was on a disabled list for 6 weeks with a little bit of a sore left lat area in the back shoulder.
Made 3 starts since then, going 6 innings in all 3 starts. 2-0 to the Twins' third baseman. And a high fly to center. Not very deep. Cabrera coming in. Casillas setting up for a tag. He's coming home. Here's the throw to the plate, and he is out at the plate. So a fly ball to shallow center field, and the Twins don't score in the first inning. It's 2-0 Kansas City. Ball is brought to you by Pentair. Long first inning, and it goes to the Royals 2-0 as we begin the second. Mike Moustakas will lead things off for Kansas City. Moustakas, Pena, and Escobar to face Francisco Liriano, who threw 23 pitches in a first inning that took way too long.
You mentioned Moustakas in the first inning, Dick. This young guy, a Royals #1 pick in 2007. Very highly talented third baseman.
Definitely picked up by Hughes. A hot smash for the first out. Let's go back to the end of the bottom of the first.
Well, Melky Cabrera comes in, makes a good strong throw toward home plate. Pena has to go on the infield side. Very close bang play, and watch the umpire Joe West. He's right on top of it. Did KCA tag home plate before? Well, it looked like a pretty good call.
No protest from KCA or the Twins. One down, and here's Brian Pena. Up and away, ball one. And now 2-0. So a quick first out for Liriano, and he'll try to back that up by getting the 8 and 9 batters. Get the Twins off the field and see if they can clog the bases again against Bruce Chen. Fly ball, right center field, playable for Revere. If the play that ended the first looked familiar, different runner, of course, but Brian Pena, the catcher, had ended up putting Denard Span on the disabled list.
Well, right here, watch Denard Span ended up going around trying to score, and watch how Pena blocks the plate. I mean, it was like Span ran into a block wall.
And you can see that Span's head snapping forward and almost a whiplash effect. And Span yesterday passed the Twins baseline test for recovery from concussion. And apparently it has to go through proper channels, be approved by Major League Baseball, and then he'll await word and hopefully head out on a rehab assignment soon.
I know he's looking forward to it. He wants to get back on that playing field.
Swing and a miss, 1-1. Escobar has picked up his batting average and gotten it up to respectability at .250. And we say respectability because what this guy does for the Royals defensively will allow him to be a key figure for them if he simply hits .250.
Yeah, just a young kid, again, trying to learn at the major league level. Just 24 years old. He came over from the Brewers in the Zach Greinke trade.
And outside, 3-1. Liriano walked Hosmer with 2 outs and 2 on. The bases were loaded, and then on a wild pitch, 2 runners scored, and now the #9 batter walked. Let's hear from Denard Span regarding his recovery from a concussion.
Coming along pretty good. I got some good news yesterday. Still waiting on potential good news, but yesterday I was cleared by my doctor to start a rehab assignment, but I'm still waiting on MLB to clear the rehab assignment. A little confusing, but definitely good news.
It's our Sanford Health Injury Report. Twins activating Delman Young after the game Sunday in Chicago. Twins hope that Span will follow shortly after that. Jason Kubel. It would be nice for the Twins as they try to make up ground in the division to have that opening day lineup out there. It hasn't been out there after the first week of the season. 1 strike to Chris Getz in a ground ball to KCA to start the ball game. There's Kubel.
Now the Royals like to run. They have the most stolen bases in the American League with 92. They've been caught only 29 times.
Escobar, 14 steals and 19 tries. And he started towards second. And if you're Ned Yost, why not? You got a freebie here. Escobar was issued a 2-out walk. That's like a free pass to try to steal a run.
Well, he hated walking that #9 hitter because those 9 hitters always seem to be the quick guys. The guys that can steal a base. And Ned Yost would like to get him in the scoring position.
And Getz falls behind 0-2. Doug Sisson, the first base coach for the Royals. Two strikes. Close pitch, taken for a ball.
Well, Joe West, the crew chief, behind home plate here. Wow.
Four-game series, and pretty much guarantees that Joe West will be very visible over the course of the weekend. One and two. And go to first with Escobar again, looking like he had thoughts of second base. It's blocked by Mauer.
Boy, that's a great block right there by Joe Mauer. You know a slider's coming, and you know it's probably going to be in the dirt because that's where Liriano wants to get that strikeout. And Mauer able to keep that ball in front of him, keeping Escobar at first. Those little things sometimes go unnoticed throughout a ball game, especially if Getz gets a base hit right here. It's a strikeout.
A strikeout, the 2-out walk does no damage, and it's 2-0 Kansas City. Brought to you by Explore Minnesota. Visit exploreminnesota.com to plan your next Minnesota vacation today. A little sample of the nightlife scene in downtown Minneapolis, the attractions, events, and excitement of a major metropolitan city, all within easy walking distance of Target Field.
Little disco going on?
I bet you were into the disco.
No. The two left feet, Rick.
Delvin Young, first at bat since coming off the disabled list, taking a pitch up high from Bruce Chin, who threw more balls than strikes. He had pitched a scoreless first inning. Drilled to the left field corner. Should be an extra base hit. Young rounds first, on his way to second, and he is just barely in there. That's a good play by Alex Gordon, who made the throw from the warning track on target to second base.
Now, Bruce Chin escaped trouble in that first inning, but maybe the second inning the Twins are going to be able to get some big hits. Starting off with Delman Young right here. This is his 9th double. And we said at the top of the show, Twins need Delman Young to have a strong second half like he did last year. Good start right there. Gordon, good strong throw, and Delman just getting that foot on the bag. Angel Campos, the second base umpire, right on top of that play.
And Chen falls behind Trevor Plouffe, who was not Actually, he was in the starting lineup, but he was in as the first baseman in the original lineup. And then Jim Thome asked for another day off. Plouffe in what is a fairly new position for him. A move from first base over to the DH spot. Luke Hughes filled first base.
Well, one thing Plouffe did, he did not take his demotion when he was sent down lightly. I mean, he went down and did very well. Look at the 15 home runs down in Rochester in 51 games.
Inside, and it hit the corner, 1-2. That combined with the 3 he hit up here, that gives him 18 home runs, which leads the organization. One and two. Pitch away, 2-2. And while Plouffe knows that he was sent down because of his defense, he's trying to reinvent himself as a super utility player. Trying to at least get Young up a base here in the second inning. Bounce to the left side, charged by the third baseman Moustakas, and Young remains at second base. One down, Young at second. Ron Coomer with us here tonight. It's remarkable when you think about this pattern that the Twins have set, having a much better second half than first.
It is pretty remarkable, but there's some reason for it. When you look at the Minnesota Twins over the last 7 or 8 years, going into the season, they had one set lineup and they thought that was going to be it. And then as soon as All-Star break gets here, there's been a lot of changes. We've had kind of revolving door at shortstop. That also happened, if you remember, 4 or 5 years ago at third base. And then by the break, it seemed like Gardy settled in with his ball club and things started taking off. The other big key to me is you play in your division after the All-Star break a lot. And the Twins, as we all know, have done a very good job at playing in their division.
One strike to Luke Hughes, and they got 12 games at home against divisional opponents starting the second half. There's a liner to left. It's down for a hit. Young will only gain third base. And the Twins have another threat. Now first and third, one away with Nishioka coming to the plate. Since Ron Gardenhire took over after the 2001 season, the Twins clearly have had the better record within the division in the second half.
And that's so important because, again, 72 of the 162 ball games are played within your division. So that's one area that Twins know going in after the All-Star break. Hey, you know, yeah, we didn't do very well against the Eastern teams, and the West always gives us trouble, but we are tough in our division. And Chicago knows that. I mean, Twins are, what, 7-1 this year against Chicago. Detroit, even though the Twins haven't beat Detroit, they know the Twins are going to be there at the end. And, of course, Cleveland, and then, of course, Kansas City.
First pitch nearly hit Nishioka. Bruce Chen has faced 8 batters and retired 3 of them. Yet the Twins do not have a run. Lifted, foul near the dugout. Pena with room to make the catch. Out number 2. So that'll leave it to Ben Revere. Nishioka doesn't get the runner in from third. And less than 2 out.
Nishioka just kind of watching, not a very strong swing, but good job by Pena right there. Good concentration right by the Twins dugout. And a basket catch for the second out.
So now Revere, who's called out on strikes his first time up since June 2nd. The Twins have gotten so many big hits from Ben Revere, and they're hoping to get another one here in the second inning. Strike one. Twins have a leadoff double, a 1-out single, trying to get their first run of the ball game.
Ben Revere has never faced Bruce Chen other than that first plate appearance.
Drop down sidearm. Revere waiting for it. He fouls it away. 2 strikes. We'll see if Revere can fight his way out of an 0-2 hole in this second inning at bat. To right field, hanging in the air for Frank Coeur, and that ends the inning. Twins get a lead-off double. Can't push Young around to score. It's still 2-0. Hosting the Royals. And if you have a ticket to tomorrow's game, you can log on to lifetimefitness.com/twins and get a complimentary 7-day pass to Lifetime Fitness. Call 800-33-TWINS. Check on ticket availability for the Friday night game tomorrow night here at Target Field. Melky Cabrera will lead off the third for the Royals, and he takes ball one. Cabrera grounded a sharp single to left. And then things kind of fell apart for the Twins, and they ended up handing the Royals a couple of first-inning runs. Liner to center, and Revere's got to scamper over to get this ball back in. Cabrera will be held to a single. That's a good play by Revere. Word has gotten out that he doesn't have the strongest arm, but he got to it quickly, and maybe more importantly, got rid of it quickly.
You know, just before the All-Star break, Cabrera was on a 9-game hitting streak, now a 10-game hitting streak with a second single. But watch Revere right here. Good reaction, getting over there as quick as he can. Kind of has to wheel and throw, get it back in. Cabrera thought about it and then hustled back to first base.
Alex Gordon reached on a fielder's choice. There was an error, one of 2 first-inning errors for the Twins. Ball deflected off of Liriano's glove, and then KCA from his glove tried to flip the ball to Nishioka, did, and it kind of hit Nishioka in the breadbasket, and they never controlled the ball nor got the out.
Yeah, it looked like Nishioka got right over the bag rather than maybe stepping to the side. And you know, they always say you always anticipate maybe a bad throw. That ball hit him right in the glove, and he just juggled it and then eventually dropped it.
1-1 to Gordon. Off the mound, Nishioka to KCA, and they get the out. So it didn't work the other way. On a ball hit up the middle, Nishioka bobbled it. Here he makes a nice play, and a good thing for the Twins that ball hit the mound.
Very nice defensive play, and the mound does slow it down a little bit, allows Nishioka to dive for it, and then flipping it over to KCA. You see what KCA did right there? He didn't get on the bag until he made sure where the throw was going to be. You have to anticipate maybe a bad throw, and watch KCA right here. Looks for the ball and then stepped on the bag for the force out. Nice defensive play. Good job by KCA.
A couple of well-hit balls against Liriano here in the third. So Gordon reaches on another fielder's choice. Butler hit a fly ball to right his first time up. Inside a ball.
See, that's a good pitch right there. I mean, a good fastball inside if you can control the outer half of the plate. But, you know, Liriano so far is another outing. He's all over the place. 43 pitches, 22 balls, 21 strikes. Gordon at first base, 6 stolen bases in 11 attempts.
One and 0 to Billy Butler. 1-1.
Good changeup right there. Pulled the string on Butler.
Butler's grounded into 9 double plays this year. He led the major leagues by grounding into 32 last year.
Hey, that doesn't make him a bad guy. Liriano has 9 double plays turned behind him this year.
And now 1-2.
This guy's a good hitter. Billy Butler, just 24 years old, already in his 5th season with the Royals. Hit .318 last year, 6th best in the American League.
That's one thing the Royals do have going for them. They brought up some prospects, Hosmer and Moustakas, but they've also got guys like Gordon and Butler who are still young but have had an awful lot of experience.
Yes.
Her 4th or 5th year in the major leagues.
What I like about Butler is he sprays the ball all over the field. He's got power to all fields.
Liriano ahead of him, 1-2. It's doinked foul, and it's back in the seats. Twins had a homestand here before the All-Star break. They won 6 and lost 3. Here's Butler and his hit spray chart.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. I mean, just uses the whole field. 2 years ago in 2009, he had 51 doubles and hit .301. Last year hit .318 with 45 doubles. It's kind of one of those hitters that you would say that, you know, he's eventually going to hit more home runs. You know, I mean, he's going to hit home runs. 15 home runs last year, but I think Royals look at him as he matures. Got a guy that can hit 20+ home runs a year.
1-2. And a strikeout for out number 2.
And the 3rd strikeout for Liriano.
Kevin Gordon, Michael Cuddyer had a busy but fun-filled time in Phoenix, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, guys. You can log on to FoxSportsNorth.com right now for the latest story from our special web contributor and Twins All-Star Michael Cuddyer. This week, Michael writes about that time at the All-Star game and how players use this break to recover both mentally and physically. You can also check out Michael's flip cam footage from the All-Star game. Dick and Bert, it's all there waiting for you right now at FoxSportsNorth.com.
Took on, and here's Eric Hosmer. Drew a walk, and the runner Gordon takes off. Mauer won't even bother throwing.
Oh, what a great jump Gordon had right there on Liriano. So Gordon steals his 7th base, gets into scoring position with 2 outs. I mean, just Mauer had no decision. You know, just hold the ball, give it back to Liriano.
Now 2-0. When Hosmer drew the walk in the first inning, what made it so painful, not just what followed, but he had Hosmer 0-2. Threw him 2 sliders back to back, and it looked like Hosmer missed each of them by about a foot. And he ended up walking him.
As I said, it's just a bad pitch sequence to this young man.
Pounded foul, and it's 2-1.
Sometimes as a pitcher, you give a guy too much credit. You know, as you talked about, at that point you said, I had my curveball, but if a hitter looks bad at my curveball, I see it right in front of me. You know what? I'm going to do it again. If he looks just as bad, why wouldn't I do it again? Make them hit it. 50 pitches for Liriano.
2-1. Grounded to the right side. KCA has it. Liriano with a nice toss from KCA.
Good feed.
And the inning ends with Gordon stuck at second base. Twins will retire Bert's number 28, and a lot of fans with Circle Me Bert signs will be asked to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" to Bert during the 7th inning stretch at Target Field. And anyone going to the game with a sign should go to foxsportsnorth.com. Click on Circle Me Bert if you'd like to have a chance to serenade my partner.
If you bring a sign, you better be able to sing. I don't want somebody, that. I want them
You're going to get picky about the quality.
Hey, it's my day. It's my day retiring my number. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it.
1-1. Of course, we're in Chicago, and Jesse Crane thought they were retiring his number. He was the last Twin to wear number 28. Hey, the ultimate, of course, is the Hall of Fame, but you got to be touched with the fact that the Twins are retiring your number here, aren't you?
In less than a week, I'm going to have 2 great honors. Of course, getting the number retired and then the Hall of Fame. As I'm going to say Saturday, I thank Dave St. Peter and the Twins organization for retiring my number. Some great numbers up there. I'll be very proud to have my number right next to Kirby Puckett, between Kirby Puckett and Jackie Robinson.
This is down the right field line, twisting toward the seats.
My son Tim and his wife Shannon just came in. They came in from California. My son Todd and his wife Kathy, and 2 grandkids are coming a little bit later tomorrow. My son David, and then also my daughter Kim going to come in for Saturday. So nice little family reunion.
Tap foul. Still 2-2 to KCA leading off the 3rd inning. Well, Chan has hardly been dominating Twins hitters. They have 3 hits and 2 walks in 10 plate appearances. It'll be KCA, Mauer, and Kadire here in the 3rd.
You think of Chin, I think of Jim Rooker when I pitched with him with the Pittsburgh Pirates. He'd load the bases with 2 outs and always get that out somehow.
He was safe.
Yep.
That is a great hustle single for Alexi KCA, and Getz waited for the ball to get to him, and he paid the price.
Yeah, he sure did. On this play, you have to know who's at the plate, and Chris Getz has been playing too long. He knows KCA can run a little bit, not hit very sharply, but then he kind of took his time right there, and then KCA just beat it out. So KCA gets his 2nd hit, and they're leading off the bottom of the 3rd here, the 4th hit for the Twins.
The Twins have had ample opportunities to score against Chin, And now a leadoff infield single. Mauer takes a strike on the outside corner. Mauer ended up drawing a first inning walk. Twins had the bases loaded, 1 out. And Valencia hit a fly ball that turned into a double play. And they couldn't take advantage of Young's leadoff double. And Hughes 1-out single in the second. Just off the plate, 1-1. Twins with a 12-game homestand that includes a day-night doubleheader on Monday, which they're telling us is going to be played in sweltering heat. Cloudy skies tonight. To get up into the mid-80s tomorrow, and then the heat wave sets in.
Remember the first time around with KCA at first base, how many throws Chen threw over to the first baseman? And there's another one.
Joe with 27 hits on the year and only 5 extra base hits, doubles.
And even though Chin doesn't throw extremely hard, Melky Cabrera playing very over toward left center. There's a big gap down the right field line and a lot of room out in right center. Vancouver giving him a lot of that right field line.
Mauer, despite his talents, he doesn't get many base hits down the right field line. He uses the middle of the field. 1-1 to the Twins catcher. He pulls it foul. 1-2. And Chen and Pena will have a chat. Window concepts, window of opportunity. Joe with better than average numbers against the Royals, particularly in the power department.
Yep, 7 career home runs for Joe Mauer and hitting at .350.
One and two. The Twins trying to feed off of Casillas' hustle and his leadoff single here in the third. Just outside, 2-2.
Joe West again. Good eye for Joe Mauer again. Calls it outside where it was.
I would think Mauer's ability to lay off that pitch, the fact that it wasn't called a strike, is essential if you're going to have any success against a guy like Chen, who doesn't have the stuff to dominate in the strike zone. So he's trying to expand the strike zone as much as he can.
Oh, he has to hit his spots. And a quick throw over, Casillas gets back. And Joe West, one of those umpires, Dick, that really doesn't move. A lot of times if the catcher moves to the outer half, the umpire will move with him, but Joe West pretty much stays where he's getting set to go down right now. Look at Pena. Look how much room there is.
And now it's full count again to Mauer. We've got the same situation here with nobody out in the third that we had with 1 out in the first.
Yeah, see, some umpires will move just for protection, for foul balls and stuff like that.
We'll see if Casillas takes off. He did most of the time when Mauer was up with a 3-2 count in the first inning. Casillas goes, and the pitch grounded to third. And Moustakas fires across, and Casillas advances to second on the ground ball. So that's why you start the runner, to stay out of the force at second or possibly a double play.
Well, Moustakas playing off the line right there. I mean, defensively, Kansas City, you can see where he's at right there. They had him played perfectly as Joe Mauer hits it right to Moustakas. He has to go a little bit 2 steps to his left. Good strong throw for the first out.
Here's Michael Kadire drew a walk in the first. Up and away, ball 1. Well, between Chen and Liriano, we've had over 100 pitches thrown and only about half of them strikes. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Good hard slider down and in.
Fouling out of play, 1-2. Says something, I suppose, about the Royals' futility in the starting pitching department that they come back with Chen to start the second half. In essence, saying he's our #1 guy at the midway point of the season. Down and away, 2-2.
If the Royals have to improve one place as they mature and get better, it's in the starting pitching job. You know, they have Luke Hochevar, who they hope is still young, that he's going to get better. They brought up left-hander Duffy.
Right there, Danny Duffy.
Danny Duffy, you know, but Jeff Francis really hasn't been what they expected him to be coming over from Colorado.
Softly hit and gloved in the air by Moustakas for out #2. Soft line drive, and the rookie third baseman was able to snag it before it hit the dirt. 2 down. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the White Sox and Detroit in a showdown between two teams ahead of the Twins in the standings. This week's telecast of Fox Saturday Baseball begins at 3 o'clock Central, only on Fox. Tigers don't play tonight. The Indians do, and they jumped on the Orioles early. They lead at 8-4 in the 6th inning.
Yeah, not a lot of games played tonight. I wish baseball would just give everybody 4 days off for that All-Star break.
Moustakas sets and fires, and the Twins leave KCA aboard at second base. It's still 2-0. Player of the game, text the word value followed by a space in the player's name to short code 234234. No runs on the board yet for the Twins, but KCA is 2 for 2, so he's leading the balloting. Keep voting, and we'll have the results on the Twins postgame show. 4th inning now, 2-0 Kansas City. Jeff Francoeur will lead things off for the Royals against Francisco Liriano. Ball 1. Francoeur struck out to end the first inning, but it was during his at-bat that Liriano uncorked a wild pitch. And then Maurer tried to backhand a flip to Liriano to get the first runner from scoring, and instead the first and second runners scored to make it a 2-0 ball game. Inside, 2-1.
Liriano with 3 strikeouts in a ball game, a couple walks.
2-2.
Well, I'd have to say Rick Anderson has been pulling out what hair he has left when he tries to sit down with Liriano and say, trust your stuff. He has a good fastball. He has a nasty slider, a good changeup. But again, here this afternoon or this evening, too many pitches in a short amount of time. And that just puts more burden on your bullpen when you can only average 5, less than 6 innings a start. Yes, he pitched the no-hitter, and yes, he took another no-hitter into the 8th inning, but you want consistency, and just been too inconsistent.
Oh, tailing fastball and a foul flipped over the Twins dugout.
Well, we have people here from the K-fan section here, and little Catlin celebrating her 7th birthday, right, Angelina? 7th birthday. So happy birthday to you. Very nice sign. I know you did that yourself, Catlin. Didn't have any help.
Fly ball right center field. Canayer with the catch. Frank Brewer retired.
Hey, Ron Coomer, how difficult it is sometimes to play behind a guy like Liriano because he throws so many pitches in a short amount of time.
Well, it is difficult, and you just tend to, end up being more of a spectator than being involved because it's, 3-2 counts most of the time, and you're starting ball 1, ball 2. But as you were talking, I stood up to watch Frankie throw. When he makes his delivery, so his foot hits the ground, and then he's releasing the ball, and his hand and his arm is getting out in front of him. But then if you see a side shot of his recoil, to me, when you recoil right at the moment that you're releasing the ball, that to me makes it really tough to stay consistent.
Yeah, he's always had trouble with that windup. Of course, it's kind of a violent delivery. He comes in that position where, but look at that right there. I mean, then the leg crosses. Which isn't bad, but he almost comes back towards shortstop rather than, say, going toward the third baseline.
I know as a hitter, when you're not balanced, you lose a lot. You can swing hard, but you have to stay balanced. It's the same thing in throwing, whether you're throwing from the mound or anywhere else. The balance is everything.
Driven to the gap in left center, and Delman Young won't get it. Moustakas has an extra base hit. It'll be a double with 1 out here in the 4th.
Yeah, fastball away but left up, and Moustakas hit it sharply. Delman Young went to his left, and then the ball ended up behind him. So not the best route right there for Delman Young. Ball hit maybe a little bit harder than he anticipated in left field.
I think with this heat too, guys, from watching batting practice, the ball is definitely carrying a little better, in the middle of the year than it does early, for sure. That ball definitely, he just cut across the middle of the field, went over his head.
Well, with the humidity and then the cement drying, my goodness, there's just going to be home runs all over the place.
Brian Pena with a fly ball to center his first time up, and he takes strike 1.
I would imagine as an outfielder you want to go back first, but Delman right there, see him cut across and then just out of his reach. That ball was hit pretty good, though.
Liner too tall for KCA. Moustakas around third. He's coming home. Kadayer's throw cut off by Hughes. They'll throw to second and get Pena. It's an RBI single, a 3-0 game, and 2 away.
Well, Pena picking up his 21st RBI. Michael Kadayer, good strong throw, and he did the right thing. He hit the cutoff man, that being Luke Hughes, the first baseman. Royals take a 3-0 lead. But Kadayer doing a textbook throw toward home plate.
Pretty nice pickup by Luke Hughes, too. He had to backhand that ball.
Yep, watch Kadayer right here charge the ball, comes up and keeps that ball down, and Luke Hughes picks it and then throws over to Nishioka to get the sliding Pena.
Down and in ball 1 to Alcides Escobar. He drew a 2-out walk in the 2nd inning.
Well, Kadayer airmails that ball toward home plate. Pena's at second base.
Now a roller to the backhand side of KCA, and that ends the inning. Sports North is brought to you by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. And by AT&T. It's 3-0 Kansas City. The Twins have had a threat in every inning against Bruce Chen, but they haven't broken through yet. We'll see what Delman Young can do about starting something here in the 4th inning. Getting guys on base hasn't been a problem. For that matter, getting them in scoring position has not been a problem. They just haven't gotten a hit when they need one yet. And now trail by 3. 1 strike to Young, who fouls the first pitch back to the screen.
Yeah, Young started the bottom of the 2nd inning off with a double. Stranded at 3rd base.
2 strikes. Young, Plouffe, and Hughes. 3 right-handed batters against left-hander Bruce Chen. Outside 1-2. Twins are hopeful that Young will hit the ball as he did in his first at bat more frequently than not. First time he came off the disabled list this year, it seemed like it took him a couple of weeks to get his swing. Tapper to 3rd. Moustakas charges. Shows off a strong arm, 1 away. Well, I think we did all right in the trivia department in your absence with former manager Tom Kelly. Our AT&T trivia question tonight: who was the last Royals player to start for the American League in the All-Star game? I think I know this one. I think I got it nailed.
Is that a pitcher or an everyday player?
No, I think it's an everyday player.
Everyday player.
Yep. 1 out. Here's Trevor Plouffe. He hit a ground ball to Moustakas his first time up. And a strike. You can imagine a world where Plouffe is maybe DHing, but moving around the infield at first, a little bit at short, 3rd, some at 2nd, but also the outfield. And if he could provide some pop for the Twins in a reserve role, he might have a pretty bright future with the ball club. 1-2.
Well, what we have seen with guys on the disabled list like Morneau and Kubel, Span, is guys coming up from Rochester and doing a very good job. Ben Revere, Luke Hughes has done a good job.
And almost invariably a better job the second time they're up this year than the first. 2-2 to Plouffe. Little pop fly down the left field line and a long run for Gordon. And he lets it play in front of him. Wow. He pulled up and the ball landed about 5 feet from his feet. So Plouffe's aboard with a pop fly single.
Kind of one of those swings, I'm sure, as an outfielder, you think it's going to go further than it does. Plouffe, look at the swing right here. He hit it sharply, but then that ball just kind of flared down the left field line. Gordon going toward the ball, and then you're right, he just kind of pulled up as that ball landed in front of him.
Here's Luke Hughes. Twins need a jolt, something to wake everybody up here at Target Field. They're out hitting the Royals 5-4. There's a bunt hard up the line, and it's a foul ball. So Hughes, who singled in the 2nd inning, trying to bunt his way aboard here in the 4th.
That's not the bolt you were thinking about.
No. So 1 strike to Luke Hughes. So what did you do on your summer vacation?
It was summer down in Florida. A lot of rain. Did get some golf in. Worked on my speech, which I'm about 3/4 of the way done.
That's only 30 minutes long?
45 minutes, actually.
1 strike to Luke Hughes. Strike 2. Well, I'm half surprised to see you here. I was looking forward to being reunited with you, but yesterday they pulled your favorite beer off the shelves in Minnesota. I thought you'd be a no-show.
I'm okay. I brought a lot with me.
Fouled into the seats. Isn't it amazing? I mean, state of Minnesota, now the budget impasse is over less than 24 hours after they started pulling beer off the shelves.
There's not too many. There's not too many condos that have 3 refrigerators like I do.
2 strikes. High fastball gets it. And 2 away. And Nishioka will hit. It'll be a special night at Target Field Saturday. The Twins are saluting Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven prior to the Saturday game against the Royals, and for only the 6th time in club history, a player who wore a Twins uniform number will have that number retired. And 20,000 fans will get a Blyleven curveball, courtesy of your Northland Ford dealers. You can call 800-33-TWINS for more details. Now, I got one of these things here.
Yeah, guaranteed to curve.
Or go over the fence trying, I guess, right?
Many of them never did go over the fence.
Now, what makes that a Blyleven curveball?
Well, because part of it is it does show you the grip that I use on my curveball.
And Nishioka punches a single to right. Blue will check in at second.
Now, also in that packet that you have right there is a description of my curveball and how I held it. And I held it a little different. Bob Feller, Sandy Koufax held it across the seams like a 4-seam fastball. I utilized this seam underneath here, the seam underneath here, and then the seam on my middle finger that created a lot of the torque. So if you throw it right, it'll curve. And if you just throw it up high enough, then it'll curve.
Gravity can be your friend.
Yes, it can be.
Here's Revere. Just outside, ball 1. Well, I'm going to look at this because, you know,
no, for fantasy, can't forget it. We don't allow curveballs.
You mean if I study this, if I memorize it, it won't do me any good?
Not at your age, no.
Fly ball, right field. Looks like the Twins are going to have another threat slip through their fingers.
Only 13 years and older can read that.
Well, I qualify for that. We're at Target Field, opener of a 4-game series, a 12-game homestand. Kevin Gork, Ron Coomer, Bert Blyleven, Dick Bramer. And the Royals have a 3-0 lead. Neither starting pitcher has had a 1-2-3 inning, and Liriano would love to get one here in the 5th.
Well, kind of an ugly first inning. 2 runs against Liriano, both of them unearned. Now, he did give up a earned run last inning on a double and a single.
Nishioka gets in front of the ball, sets, fires, not in time, gets an infield hit.
Gets pretty quick down that line. Nishioka hesitated a split second, and that allowed Getz to get an infield hit.
You can ask a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. David Christensen from Britton, South Dakota, wondering, when there's a meeting on the mound, does Tsuyoshi Nishioka understand what everyone's saying?
I would have to say not really.
You know, just in my dealings with Nishioka, his English has improved to some degree. But no, the answer would have to be no. When there's a meeting on the mound that involves a middle infielder. Somehow they have to communicate to him, and I think that's kind of an ongoing process for both Nishioka and Ron Gardenhire. Maybe Rick Anderson if he makes the trip. Bouncer to short.
Let's see if they understand each other here.
How do you say double play in Japanese?
Pitcher's best friend, that's how you say it.
2 down.
You know, Nishioka on Chris Getz's infield base hit, he did a good job getting over to his righty. Kind of his footing was a little bit off, and that's why Getz got the infield base hit. But a nice big hop, good feed over to KCA, and then KCA showing off that strong arm. Good feed right here. Show the second baseman that ball early, which he does, and that allows KCA to wind up like a pitcher and get the double play.
Britton just a little bit west of Lake City. And as the crow flies, have to give Dumont a plug. I guess about a half-hour crow's flight from Dumont, Minnesota, just across the border. 2 gone. Gordon the hitter, and he takes a pitch down and in, 1-1. Gordon's reached on a couple of fielders' choices. It was his ground ball deflected by Liriano that was a pretty troublesome play for the Twins. They had a chance for 2 outs and instead got neither, or didn't get any outs. A bobble at second base, and there was an error at the plate after a wild pitch. And the Royals scored a couple of giveaway runs. Down low, 3-1. Mentioned it. A lot of people thought Gordon might be the all-star selection for the Royals, and instead Ron Washington picked reliever Aaron Crow. 3-2. It's one area the Royals figure to improve upon as their team success builds. They've only had more than one all-star twice in the last 22 years. They've had one guy go to the all-star game in 20 of the last 22 years. So it's not just the team. They just haven't had very good players. The answer to our trivia question was one of their better players. Ooh. Ball rolls to the Kansas City dugout, and a splintered bat ends up near second base.
Liriano just rearing back and challenging Gordon, and the ball ends up in well, pretty much inside. Watch the bat just explode. Wow.
Gordon didn't know whether to watch most of his bat sail up the middle of the field or the ball squirt to the left. There's so much optimism in Kansas City now regarding Hosmer and Moustakas and some other good players they have coming through the system. Off the tip of Hughes' glove, and Gordon will reach with a hit.
Tell you what, that was a nice effort right there by Hughes. It's just out of his reach, but if he doesn't knock that down, Gordon may have hit a double right there. Kadire, was off the line a little bit, but he does slow it down. Gordon gets his first hit of the ball game. Hughes diving to his left, knocks it down. The ball hit pretty sharply right there. It may have went into that right field corner. Instead, Gordon at first base with 2 outs.
And now Butler, he's 0 for 2, a fly ball to right and a strikeout. Down low, ball 1. Is there any consolation in the fact that Liriano, when he is missing down low? Seems like every third or fourth pitch he's thrown in the dirt. I mean, I guess you'd rather miss down there than
possibly up in the zone, yes. But again, this is 78 pitches right now, 45 strikes, 33 balls. You'd like to be 2 strikes to every ball thrown, or somewhere near that.
1-0. And you do have the specter of that doubleheader coming up on Monday. It's a split doubleheader, and it will wipe out pitching for both teams on Monday. You'd like your starter to pitch as many innings as he can in advance of that.
Right.
1-1 to Butler. Bounce to third, backhanded by Valencia. Over to Hughes, and that ends the inning. So Liriano keeping the ball on the ground in the 5th inning, and he has a relatively easy inning.
Colorful sign, Jim and Lucy win tonight. They make a great sign. They've got relatives in from Michael Kadyr's hometown in Virginia. Love the sign, Lucy. Who's your favorite twin?
Joe Mauer.
It's funny you say that because the bride-to-be might be a runaway bride. She's a week and change away, and she's wondering if Joe will change her future. We'll find out, guys. Back to you.
Great find, Kevin. Thank you for the sign, so you are hereby circled.
Alexi Casilla will lead things off in the 5th. Time for the Twins to go to work here. Casilla's done his part. He's singled twice. And now 2-0. Now Chan struggled with his control early on, walking a couple of batters consecutively. Mauer and Kadir. He hasn't walked anyone since. And now a strike 2-1 to Casilla.
His pitch count actually too high for a guy that relies on quick outs.
A little pop up behind first. Hosmer calls for it, and a fair ball catch, 1 away. Back to our trivia question. Not a contest. There's no prize. If there was, you and I could retire.
We're over 18.
I think it's Jermaine Dye, who was voted on a couple years before Torrey Hunter was. In 2000. The Royals hope that at some point Hosmer, Moustakas, Gordon,
right,
with Mauer tapping the first pitch over the first base bag, and it's a quick second out. So Joe for 2 with a walk, and that'll bring up Kadir.
See, that's the type of pitcher that Bruce Chin is right there. Changing speeds, make the hitter get themselves out.
And I would imagine he's the type of guy that would be really. The deeper he goes into the game, the more frustrated the Twins hitters are going to be and more anxious.
Well, they call it a comfortable offer, against a guy like this. You're going to get your hits, but he seems to bear down. He has so far in this ball game with runners in scoring position. Twins have left 7 men on base, but they've yet to put one across the plate.
Twins are 1 for 8 with men in scoring position here tonight. 2-0. The one was a Luke Hughes single that advanced Young from second to third. 2-1. Checked his swing, okay. And it's 3-1 with Valencia on deck.
Bruce Chen's been around the game a long time. Signed by the Braves as a free agent out of Panama back in 1993.
Way out in front. Chen threw him something at 78 miles per hour. Full count. And Cuddyer takes a close pitch, draws a 2-out walk. Ron Coomer, you probably face some guys like Chen, let's say a Jamie Moyer or somebody like that. I would think in the middle to late innings it really becomes a challenge to face these guys.
Dick, you nailed it right on the head. The longer this guy stays in the game, the more and more frustrating. He's almost, Jamie Moyer is a perfect example. You almost have to take an approach like your batting practice, where you have to try to relax your body and just see the ball real easy and then make your swing. If you're geared up like you're going to hit a guy who is maybe going to throw 90 to 93, you're going to have a real frustrating day because this guy's ball just never gets to home plate. Just like Michael had a pitch to hit, but he kind of jumped at it and he fouled it off. In batting practice, he pounds that ball, and that's the big difference. You have to be able to relax your body and hands and see the baseball and then react to what you see. That's why I'm sitting over here. I couldn't do that any longer.
Hey, Ron, one thing about a guy like Bruce Chen, you try to hit him up the middle and the other way. Do you try to wait back longer like that?
That's a fair ball into the corner. Cuddyer around second, on his way to third. He'll be waved around. Valencia around second, on his way. No, he'll go back to second with an RBI double. Well, the answer is yes.
That's a good piece of hitting right there by Danny Valencia. And with 2 outs, of course, Michael Cuddyer off with a crack of the bat, and he scores all the way from first base.
Boy, he nearly kicked up some chalk down that right field line.
Hey, you need some luck. And right there, that ball and also stayed in the ballpark. That ball bounces over. Cuddyer has to stop at third. Good that no fan reached over and interfered with that ball, too.
You have to give the Twins fan down in that corner awful lot of credit, because I think we could see the fan pulling his hands back. Young fouling it off a leg, and it's a strike, I think. And they're going to say it is a strike. Here's the fan right here. Well, I don't know. Maybe we're giving him more credit than he deserves. He was flinching, didn't want to get hit by the ball.
He didn't want to lose his beer.
He was just scared.
It's good because but he has heart and courage.
If he touches that ball, then it's fan interference, and you're left to the umpire's discretion as to where Cuddyer ends up. One strike to Young. And now a ball.
Bert, to get back to what we were talking about, you saw the swing with Danny where he just kind of took a nice easy swing and shot the ball the other way. Against a guy like Chen, you can almost go up to home plate looking changeup or looking soft like you would against a normal guy, and then be on time for the heater. So to me, I would sit on a certain speed and it would be soft against a guy like this. And then what I wanted to do was just be aggressive. And like you said, for me, being aggressive was the right center field is where I was aiming.
Well, the Twins did virtually nothing against Mark Burley in Chicago on Saturday, and I would imagine that the best advice against Burley would be that similar advice. Take him up the middle and go the other way. 1-2 now to Young. Twins trying to put together a 2-out rally. They've taken a walk. They've gotten an RBI double. And you would like to think that with Young's power, he can get this thing tied up with one swing.
And that's another area. Delmon Young, 21 home runs last year, a career high. So far sitting on 2 home runs this year.
There's one golf to left. And that's over the head of Gordon. It'll be another double for Delmon Young and another run for the Twins. So some 2-out hitting here in the 5th inning has gotten the Twins to within a run.
Well, sometimes as a pitcher, you go out there and you make a pretty good pitch, and you wonder how guys get golfs like this. This is almost a golf swing from Delmon Young. That ball almost looked like it was going to hit the dirt before he made contact. Watch this, look where that ball is. It's below his knees, and Delmon just hits a rope over the head of Gordon. So Delman with his second double of the ball game, picking up his 21st RBI. Bob McClure, the pitching coach, a quick trip to the mound to talk to his left-hander.
And it all started with Kadayer's 2-out walk here in the 5th inning.
This will give us a great angle of his swing, but also where the ball was once he makes contact. That ball was heading down. You can see the catcher, Pena, ready to maybe block it.
That's just a great swing. And to me, when Delman's going good, guys, you saw where he was making contact there, how far his hands were out in front of him. He gets into an issue where his body gets out in front of his hands, and then his hands drag. When his hands get out front like we saw last year and he's pulling baseballs, Delman Young's the one guy that I would say of all of our Twins hitters, if he's pulling the baseball, he's going to be swinging well.
Boy, and you have to be strong to be able to do that, don't you, Ron?
He's a strong guy,
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yep.
Here's Trevor Plouffe. And he takes a bell-tie strike. Chen, I hate to say he was cruising along, but it looked like he was going to have a 1-2-3 fifth. But now Greg Holland is warming up in the Kansas City bullpen.
Well, that pitch count mounting, too. This will be pitch number 96. Swung through.
Two strikes. Plouffe takes outside. Was looking for one more 2-out hit that might tie the ball game. That's hit a long way to left field. Gone. And the designated hitter designatedly hit one.
Well, he said earlier the Twin fans needed a jolt, and there's that jolt right there by Trevor Plouffe. And it's all coming with 2 outs. Well, Trevor Plouffe hitting his 4th home run of the year. This was just a matter of, is this ball going to stay fair? That ball down and in, and Trevor Plouffe gave it a ride.
And now Luke Hughes. Hit the foul pole. And Plouffe, who, as we said, leads the organization in home runs, hits his 4th. Well, Joe West just barely got his mask on. I'm not sure where he was, what he was doing, but he just barely got his mask on before the pitch was thrown. 1-1. 2-1.
You know, Bruce Chen was walking a tightrope over the first 4 innings. You know, he got out of some situations. Not here in the 5th.
Moustakas ignores the bat, throws across to end the inning. Some 2-out, 2-strike hitting for the Twins. 3 straight extra base hits, and the Twins have their first lead. Well, the Twins have the lead now, 4-3. Francisco Liriano pitching to the Royals in the 6th. He'll face Eric Hosmer, Jeff Francoeur, and Mike Moustakas. And a first pitch strike. Liriano hasn't thrown too many of those, and he gets ahead of Hosmer.
Yeah, just 9 of 23 first pitch strikes for Liriano. Now he's got that 1-run lead. Very important inning here in the 6th inning.
1-1. Hosmer drew a walk in the first, then hit a ground ball to KCA. Liriano did a nice job hustling from the mound to get the out at first base. Missing the inside corner, 2-1.
I know a lot of guys, especially the starters, they sit sometimes in the dugout and they look up at the scoreboard and they see they have Liriano 80 pitches. They'd like a quick inning right here, because if he can get out of this inning very quickly, he might be able to go 7, and that would be very nice for Liriano to be able to do that.
And when the Twins turned their season around in early June, that was a big part of it, I thought. Instead of the starters going 5, maybe 6, they went 6, maybe 7, maybe 8. They pitched that extra inning at a time when the bullpen was really beaten up.
Yeah, that's so important for the starting staff. And I think what we've seen over the last month, Dick, is Rick Anderson and Ron Gardenhire, depending on how many innings you've been under duress, but they're letting starters go a little bit deeper. Not the 95. Hey, give me 107, 112 pitches in an outing.
Up a little bit, and it's 3-2.
I've been an opponent of not liking the pitch count. I know Nolan Ryan, where we're going to end up after this homestand in Texas. He does not like it.
That's a fair ball into the corner, and Hosmer will have an extra base hit, and he'll be held with a leadoff double. So the Royals, as quickly as the Twins take the lead, get the tying runner in scoring position.
Yeah, pretty good hitting right here by this left-handed hitter. Again, he came into the game hitting just 179 against lefties. First time he'd faced Francisco Liriano. Pretty good slider, but down. And just dropping a barrel of the bat right in that right field corner. Hosmer with his 12th double of the year.
Here's Francoeur. A strikeout in the first, a fly ball to right in the 4th. Big swing and a miss. Fastball inside. 1-1. Liriano has faced at least 4 men in every inning.
Yeah, there has not been a 1-2-3 inning for either side.
Popped up. Might be playable for Hughes. Lost it, found it, made the catch. And it was almost like the Metrodome experience for infielders and outfielders. Just keep looking up, and eventually you'll hope to find it again. There's kind of the twilight grayness here, and Hughes for a moment lost it.
Yeah, he didn't see it. He kind of looked around, and then all of a sudden, okay, there it is, and makes the catch at the last second. Kind of looking for the fans. Hey, can you help me?
Kadire was nowhere to be found. The fans were the only ones in the vicinity. Yeah. Here's Mike Moustakas.
They were saying, look up, here it comes.
It's up there someplace. And Moustakas swings over strike 1. 90 pitches for Liriano as he tries to strand Hosmer at second base. Oh, and 2.
Look at the fans.
Well, the woman in the red didn't exactly approach this play with a whole lot of confidence.
I didn't see anybody helping him out.
2 strikes to Moustakas.
You're on your own, Luke.
And a strikeout for out number 2.
Big strikeout right there. His 4th of the ball game.
About 50 years ago, this was your favorite time of the year. It's report card time. Brought to you by Farmers Insurance. 4-run 5th inning. All the damage done with 2 outs.
The Twins get an A in the 5th inning, scoring the 4 runs. Delman Young, he gets an A+ because he was my pick here tonight.
A couple of doubles. All right.
And an RBI, scored a run.
There's Brian Pena, who drove in the 3rd Kansas City run with a single to right field. I don't know if it was unexpected news, yet the Royals got some bad news regarding veteran catcher Jason Kendall. More shoulder surgery, and they're talking about this shoulder surgery just simply providing him some quality of life so he can have mobility as a retired baseball player. There was some hope he'd come back yet this year.
That's too bad because that guy's a gamer. He's a guy that every club would love to have because he played the game the right way.
And we said it of Tom Prince. We said it of Mike Redmond. You know, veteran catcher, starting or backup. Kendall, a great all-star starting catcher. Figures if he wants to be a manager in the big leagues. 1-0 to Pena. Up the middle, speared by Liriano.
Oh, look in your other hand right there. My goodness. Sometimes the ball just finds you.
2 loud snaps. Sixth inning of the Coors Light freeze can.
Well, Melky Cabrera comes in, makes a nice throw to Pena, the catcher, and a good quick tag of Alexi Casilla. Very close play, a bang-bang play, and Joe West calling him out.
The cross-brewed Coors Light freeze can. Cabrera's gotten a couple of hits, a good throw from the outfield. The Twins, however, have a 1-run lead. And Tsuyoshi Nishioka will lead things off here in the 6th inning against Greg Holland.
Yeah, Holland making his 19th appearance so far for the Royals. Very good, 1.08 earned run average. 3 wins out of that bullpen. A very good young bullpen for the Royals. 25 innings pitched, only 16 hits allowed with 6 walks and 30 strikeouts.
Royals are carrying 13 pitchers, which again is a reflection more of the starting pitchers than the relievers. The relievers, for the most part, have been very, very good, including Joakim Soria, who's back to being the Soria of old.
Yeah, the bullpen combined 18 and 15 for a club that, you know, I mean, is really struggling with an ERA of 3.56 combined. That's 6th best in the American League. Good young arms for Bob McClure out in that bullpen.
Nishioka fouls it off a leg. 1 for 2 on the night.
Holland signed by the Royals in 2007 in his second season up with the Royals. Started the year at AAA, got called up in the middle of May.
Up high, and 1-2 the count. What we saw going into the break, Nishioka with pitches up in the strike zone, driving the ball hard on a consistent basis.
Yeah, up the middle the other way. That's the type of hitter that he is. He'll pull one once in a while if you take a little off, but that's what he does right there. Slaps it the other way.
So he put the barrel of the bat on it, an inside-out swing, and he's aboard leading off the sixth.
Ishiro Suzuki. I mean, that's who you think of when you see Nishioka. That, you know, kind of, I'm going to just kind of slap it, hit it the other way, and hopefully utilize my speed and see if I can get that ball through the infield. A breaking ball, just chopped down on him more or less, but still, you can see the barrel of the bat making contact with that ball. And Moustakas just out of his reach.
Some speed at first, leading off the sixth inning, and now Ben Revere. See if he drops a bunt down. Revere with a line out, part of a 1-0 for 3 night. Struck out in the first, lined out in the second to right field, and hit a lazy fly ball to right. And of course, Revere knows it. His job is to hit the ball on the ground and run, use his speed. Last inning at this point, the Twins were down 3-0. Now they've got a 4-3 lead. That opens up the playbook for the Twins manager, perhaps. That's outside, ball one. Cleveland's beaten Baltimore 8-4. Scored 3 runs in the first and took it the rest of the way. Toronto knocked out Bartolo Colon in the first inning, and they're leading the Yankees 16-7 in the top of the ninth. Revere hacks it foul behind Steve Little. Nishioka in the stolen base department is 2 of 5.
Yeah, well, in his time in Japan, 8 seasons, he stole 175 bases, but he was caught 73 times.
Revere hacks another one foul behind Steve Little.
Holland has a good fastball. That fastball clocked at 95. It's in a curveball and a split finger.
One and 2 to the Twins center fielder. See KCA in the on-deck circle. And strikeout for the first out of the inning. You can click on the Fan Zone tab on the FoxSportsNorth.com homepage and win unbelievable prizes. You can log on now and win a Kent Hrbek autographed baseball or bat, courtesy of Carrier. And if you aren't a member, you can join now. It's fast, it's free. It's at the Fan Zone tab on FoxSportsNorth.com. Well, here is KCA. A couple of singles so far and 3 trips. I was thinking about that the other day with your number being retired. In the 87 Twins, Hrbek's number's retired, Puckett's number's retired. Your number will be retired. The hitting coach in 87, Tony Oliva, his number retired.
You know what's cool about all those numbers that are being retired with mine going? I had a chance to play with all of those guys. Mr. Killebrew, Mr. Peru.
That's right.
Mr. Oliva on the field, and then also Ken Hrbek and Kirby Puckett.
That means, I think, that you were very good and you are very old.
I am old.
I think so. 1 strike to KCA.
I don't feel a day over 60 though, Dick.
You know, with all this talk about your number being retired and Hall of Fame and all that, I don't know that people remember when your birthday is.
Oh, it's 268 more days if you're keeping track at home.
April
6th, I believe, yes.
Okay. 1-1 to KCA. And now 2-1. Looking for some insurance here in the bottom of the 6th. Took him a while to get going in terms of the lineup. The wake-up call didn't arrive till about 7:45, or excuse me, 8:45. Nishioka goes and KCA fights it off.
That's that split finger, it looks like, from Holland, the same pitch that struck out Revere. A nasty pitch down and in, but KCA able to get a piece of it and keep the bat going.
Tomey available for pinch hitting duty tonight. Hopes to be in the starting lineup tomorrow. They're playing pepper with Steve Little over there. Revere had sent a couple of them over there, and now KCA.
Yeah, it looks like Holland got a little giddy up on that fastball. Looks like you're on it, and then you're just a little tardy. There's Steve Little. Jerry White over at first.
2-2. Checked his swing. No, Joe West says he went around, and KCA strikes out for the second out.
Again, that split finger, his second straight strikeout. Look at this pitch right here. It's a tough pitch for left-handers to lay off of, that ball that breaks down and in.
And speaking of the splitter, that is not a pitch that you ever took out on the mound with you.
No,
you tinkered around with it a little bit, though, didn't you?
On the side, yeah,
right.
but it never felt comfortable coming out of my hand.
Here's Bauer 0 for 2 with a walk.
You know, I never had a good changeup, not a Ratke or Santana or Viola type changeup. I just could not find a grip where that ball would feel comfortable in my hand, because everything for me, Dick, was off the fingertips. And some pitchers like that, everything had the snap on it. Yeah, those couple of years in '86 and '87, I worked on a lone pitch. And it's where I loaned it out to the hitter, and they did whatever they wanted. I gave up 96 home runs those 2 years.
That's a lot of home runs.
That's a lot of home runs. It's a lot of outfielders going back. Sorry.
And Bauer with a liner to left. He gets his first hit, and Nishioka will round second and hold up there. So that gets Kadire to the plate with 2 men aboard. So a couple of opposite field line drive singles for a pair of left-handed batters.
Let's take a look at the swing right here on Joe Mauer. I mean, typical Joe Mauer, getting the barrel of the bat out and just hitting it sharply the other way. Such a beautiful swing.
Kadire started the 4-run fifth with, of all things, a 2-out walk. 3 extra base hits followed, including a 2-run home run by Trevor Plouffe that put the Twins in front. A little bit low, ball 1.
Something inside of me says Kadire's going to go deep right here. I have a call.
All right.
He's going to catch up to that fastball from Greg Holland.
Let's all sit back and watch what happens.
Well, he'd like to have that one back. just got underneath that fastball.
Still feel it?
It's just that split second.
Yes or no? You still feel it?
No.
Nope.
No, I don't feel it right here. Maybe a base hit. Go get a base hit, Michael.
2-1. Kanire's only put the ball in play once tonight. A soft line drive caught by Moustakas at third base.
Yeah, Holland's done a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. Only 2 home runs allowed in 18 appearances.
2-2. Holland gave Kadire a 2-1 wrinkle.
Yeah.
That's blocked by Pena. And fills the count. Will allow the speedy runners, well, anyway, Nishioka at second base, to leave early. Full count to Michael Kadire. Nishioka at second, Mauer at first, and 2 away. And he walked him for the 3rd time. Michael Kadire's drawn a walk, and here comes Valencia with the bases loaded again.
I think one thing we have seen Danny Valencia's average, even though he came into the ball game hitting 236, increased because of where he's hitting the ball. We talked about it in his last at bat, taking that ball down the right field line. And a lot of times you get, I'm sure, Danny trying to impress everybody after last year when he hit over 300. But so far this month in July, you can see where his hits have gone. He's sprayed the ball really all over the place. And that's a great sign for a hitter.
Big spot here with the bases loaded. We showed you earlier Valencia really bearing down. Played with a guy or against a guy, Pat Tabler, who was always great with the bases loaded. So far, Valencia's done that, although in the first inning he had a fly ball to center, not deep enough to score the run, and the Royals got 2 outs on the play. Lifted foul, 1-1. A lot was made during the All-Star telecast. The University of Miami, 3 All-Stars. The University of Miami, and I don't think it's too much of a stretch to imagine Valencia getting there as he gets more experience. He might be the 4th player from that University of Miami team to get to the All-Star team.
Always a great baseball program down in the University of Miami.
Foul back, 1-2.
Well, he's had a couple fastballs that he's just gotten under. Michael Kadire fouled, I think, the only fastball he saw off. And then Holland went with all split fingers. And now Holland in that position where he's going to probably go to that split finger. You can kind of see him jamming that ball in his glove, setting it up.
One and 2 to Danny Valencia. Up the middle. And caught by Guest to end the inning. He busted his bat. A soft line drive ends the inning. And the Twins leave 3 men aboard. They've left 10 on through 6 innings. Interactive tool available during all Twins games. Game Connect combines compelling statistical visualizations with conversation on social websites to create a unique way for fans to become involved in the broadcast experience. It's everything today's passionate fan needs to involve themselves in Twins broadcast. Check it out on foxsportsnorth.com.
Boy, new technology is unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, be able to watch the ball game and then maybe, respond to maybe somebody else's concerns about the game going on. Pretty cool.
Here's Alcides Escobar leading off the 7th inning. And he takes down and away, ball 1. Escobar with a walk and a ground ball to second. Liriano out there to start, and the Twins hope finish the 7th inning.
Dick, this is what I was talking about. Right now, Liriano 11 of 27, but after that long first inning, he's done a good job of keeping that pitch count to where he's able to get here into the 7th inning. 94 pitches coming into this inning for Liriano, and this is where I think Rick Anderson, Ron Gardenhire are saying, hey, give me one extra inning. Take one extra inning of burden off of that bullpen. He had 23 pitches in the first inning. Then he put together a 14, 14, 15, 14, and a 14. So good job by Liriano after that first inning, even though, there were a couple errors that kind of kept him out there a little bit longer. But 2 unearned runs allowed by Liriano of the 3 that he's given up.
Bounce to the right side. And Hughes beats Escobar to first base. 1 away. Time for the CenturyLink high-speed pitch.
I want to see what Bruce Chen was at. Well, Liriano in the 90s for sure. As we take a look at 95 for Liriano, and Bruce Chen clocked as high as 89.
1 down in the 7th. Well, let's imagine Liriano completes the 7th inning with the lead. And then we talk about, erratic control and, pretty much a ball for every strike thrown through the first 4 innings. But you're going to look at the numbers and you're going to go 7 innings, 1 earned run, just 4 strikeouts. I mean, how good do we expect this guy to be? Those numbers in and of themselves would tell you that he did a pretty good job here tonight.
He's done a great job after that first inning working out of that 2-error situation. But you'd just like to see, I think, as a defensive player, a little more attacking of the strike zone. I think, but that's kind of been his repertoire, really. Since the Tommy John surgery, he's always had trouble. Even as no-hitter, he threw 123 pitches and 66 for strikes.
Now missing inside, and it's 3-0 to Chris Gass.
And when you're all over the place, it's hard to get those type of pitches that Joe West maybe didn't give him, even though it looked like a strike. Because there's no consistency.
3-1. And then to your point, I guess, those guys have probably watched Liriano into the 7th inning, really unsure what they were going to get from him from inning to inning. There's a strike, looked very similar to the one called ball 3, and it's called strike 2.
2 walks, 4 strikeouts for Liriano.
That's to center, but Revere is there. Out number 2. Rick Anderson hoping Liriano can get his 21st out. It'll be Cabrera, who's got 2 singles and hit into a double play.
Now, Liriano making his 16th start. If he's able to get this final out, it'll be the 5th time that he's completed 7 or more innings.
Strike on the outside corner.
Wouldn't you say that's kind of the mark for a starting pitcher? If you can give me 7 good innings, and if your pitch count's maybe in the 80s or 90s, then you go 1 more, but give me 7 good innings. So far, Liriano's 1 out away from giving the Twins 7 good innings.
Popped up behind third. Nishioka with a long run. And he makes a foul ball catch to end the inning. And Liriano in his 7th and probable final inning as a 1-2-3 inning. It's time for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Medica. Fox Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. Try a strawberry banana or wild berry fruit smoothie today. By CenturyLink. Quest is becoming CenturyLink. CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com. And by Goldman Sachs. For all the reasons you invest. Mutual funds from Goldman Sachs. Well, slow start for the Twins, but they got a 4-3 lead, and now they'll hit in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, big 4-run bottom of the 5th inning. Liriano getting congratulated from everybody. Liriano, 7 very good innings, 106 pitches, 64 for strikes. Blake Wood coming in out of that bullpen for the Royals, another young reliever. Just 25 years old, making his 30th relief appearance. Very good, 2.89 earned run average. 4 though out of that bullpen. 32 hits allowed in 37 and a third innings with 11 walks, 1 intentional, and 33 strikeouts.
Delmon Young, first man he'll face. An encouraging night for Young. Off the disabled list for the 2nd time. Young was starting to pick up some hits before he went back on the disabled list, but so many of them were singles. He's come back tonight now with a pair of doubles. Swing and a miss, 1-1. For Young now 10 doubles and 2 home runs.
Now he's facing Blake Woods with a good sinking fastball, curveball, slider, and also a split finger, just like Greg Holland has. There's a hard slider there.
Liriano expected to be relieved by Glenn Perkins as we go to the 8th inning. More a function of who is up, in case you're wondering, well, why isn't Joe Nathan up? Well, the Royals are going to have Gordon and Hosmer, a couple of left-handed batters in the first 3 spots in the 8th inning. 2-2 to Young. Up the middle, and the 3rd hit for Delmon Young. A really good sign for the Twins, with Young jumping back into the lineup with a 3-hit night. Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, provided by the Twins' designated hitter, and no, it was not Jim Thome.
Yeah, that came in the 5th inning. A big 2-run home run off the bat of Trevor Luke, just called up from Rochester, and he put the Twins up 4-3. Jason Repko will be pinch running for Delmon Young at first base.
And Plouffe, who's got a single and a home run, hitting in front of Luke Hughes.
Nishioka has some speed, 6 stolen bases in 7 attempts. Would like to add some runs here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Down and in, ball 1. Unlike some other situations this year for the Twins, where players were promoted from Rochester out of necessity, Plouffe simply hit his way back onto the 25-man roster. There's no other way of putting it. He right now is a man without a position. He will play several, but he absolutely knocked the cover off the ball and forced the Twins' hand.
Good for him. You know, he went down there and he worked his tail end off. Some guys get demoted, you know, they kind of feel sorry for themselves, but Trevor Plouffe went down and said, you know what, I know what it takes now to play up here. I need to do work on this, and he went down and he worked hard.
I asked Joe Favre, the hitting coach, about Plouffe and whether he was different than he was when he was here before. He hadn't played a game yet since his recall, but he said, no, you have to remember he wasn't sent down because of his poor hitting or his being overmatched. It was simply the throwing issue. And now he takes ball 4. And the Twins have a chance here with a threat going in the 7th, 1st and 2nd, and nobody out. Time for our in-game box score, brought to you by Pepsi Max.
Yeah, pretty good numbers right there. Delman Young, 3 for 4, a couple doubles. We just saw Trevor Plouffe walk, 2-run home run. Everybody contributing. Ben Revere, 0 for 4, but everybody doing a good job. Bob McClure out to talk to his big right-hander.
Gardner and I are hoping to add a run or two here in the 7th inning. A situation here, 1st and 2nd, nobody out. And Luke Hughes at the plate. We'll see if the Twins want Hughes to bump the runners up.
Yeah, Hughes has 1 sacrifice so far on the year. Moustakas in front of that 3rd base bag, maybe anticipating bunt. Osberg the same thing at 1st.
Bunt staying in the grass, and Pena lobs it over the left shoulder of Hughes. A nice sacrifice, advancing both runners up.
Yeah, nice play by Pena too, the catcher. Hosmer, he came charging in. It was, you don't know if this ball was going to, go foul or not, but it hugged the grass and stayed on the grass. Watch Pena kind of hop out from behind home plate, and on the run, barehands it, and then flips it over to Chris Getz, the second baseman. His responsibility to get over there to cover first.
Force the infield in now for Nishioka, who slashed a couple of singles to left field.
An outstanding bunt right there by Luke Hughes, doing what he's asked to do, advance the runners.
Remember tonight, at one point, the Twins were 1 for 8 men in scoring position. And got a couple of big hits in the 5th inning, a double and a home run with 2 outs and a man in scoring position. 1-0 to Nishioka. One and one.
They always say when the infield is drawn in that you make sure a better hitter than Nishioka, that type of slap hitter, maybe you can slap it through the drawn in infield. Makes you a better hitter because of the range that the middle infielders now don't have.
Pitches up. Not only have Nishioka and KCA switched spots in the field, they've switched spots many nights in the batting order. At the start of the year, it was Nishioka hitting 2nd and KCA hitting 9th. That Nishioka has done much better hitting 9th can be attributed in part to KCA handling things in the second spot.
Takes some of the pressure too, Dick, I think, off of Nishioka. You know, this is all new to him. All these pitchers are new, so it kind of makes him relax, hopefully, you know, down and hitting in that 9 spot.
But if the Twins had a black hole in the second spot, if KCA hadn't done his job in the number 2 spot, they might not be able to leave Nishioka hitting that.
Right. Very good point.
3-1 with the infield in. And Revere on deck. And he walked to fill the bases.
Second walk for Blake Wood.
So now they're loaded up for Ben Revere.
We'll see how the defense plays right here. Middle infielder's walking back. Tough guy to double up, but Ben Revere couldn't even hit a ground ball to short or second, or hopefully maybe he can get a base hit here, looking for his first hit.
Well, now Eddie Rodriguez was very demonstrative in the Kansas City dugout, motioning the infielders back, and now he's asked them to come in a little bit after Ned Yost got his attention. Coach John Gibbons also offering some thoughts. And the pitch is up and in to Ben Revere. Revere 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Revere just 18 strikeouts in 182 at bats. The Royals have gotten them twice. There haven't been too many 2-strikeout games for Ben Revere. Well, Wood has a hard time throwing in strikes.
Yeah, you have to throw the ball over the plate. The ball behind Wood has a good fastball, but it doesn't have a lot of movement on it. So Revere's got to say, okay, I'm going to get that fastball and hopefully hit it sharply somewhere. Wood has been his worst enemy so far this inning, walking a couple batters.
The only out he's gotten was the one the Twins gave him. 3-0, and Revere will be taking.
Well, you make him throw a strike right here.
Up high. And Wood, who came into this game with 37 1/3 innings and only 10 unintentional walks, has issued 3 of them here in the 7th. And Revere with the walk, driving in his 14th run.
Easiest RBI in the game right there. A bases loaded walk. Twins take a 5-3 lead.
How about a bases clearing fill in the blank here? And it hits KCA. And another run will come in.
That may not be the easiest RBI because that one might hurt. But KCA will take it.
Disastrous outing for Blake Wood. The Royals have seen the Twins add a couple here. That one got right in the back of the knee.
KCA picking up an RBI, his 19th of the year.
Buying some time right now. Looks like Tim Collins is warming up. Not sure if he's been warming up enough because Blake Wood's only thrown 20 pitches and only 5 of them have been strikes.
Yeah, they had a right-hander up, but I mean, maybe just, you know, before KCA got up, and all of a sudden now, you know, here comes Ned Yost. He's going to have to make the move.
Well, the Royal bullpen has been pretty good this year, but Blake Wood has a disastrous outing here in the 7th. Twins have scored a couple against him. He'll leave with the bases loaded, and the diminutive Tim Collins comes in to pitch tomorrow.
On the first inning, Twins made a couple errors right here. A wild pitch by Liriano got away from Joe Mauer. He tried to backhand toward home plate, but Liriano a little late getting there. A couple runs scored. Royals took an early 2-0 lead. And then in the fifth inning, Delman Young, a double over the head of Gordon for an RBI double, and then the next hitter, Trevor Plouffe, a big 2-run home run. That gave the Twins a 4-3 lead.
And I beg your pardon, it's not the 5'7" Tim Collins. It's the 6-footer Everett Tieford coming in.
Yeah, Tieford, his second stint with the Royals this year, just getting called up from AAA Omaha, making his 16th relief appearance in his rookie season. Another youngster, 26 years old, signed by the Royals back in 2006.
And Mauer with a chance to break the game wide open. Breaking ball up and in. If it was important for Blake Wood to throw strikes, it's really important for Tieford because he has no place to put Mauer or anybody else.
Well, Dick, I remember I was talking about Liriano being able to go 7. When your starter goes 5 innings like Chen did, you know, put so much more pressure on that bullpen, and everybody coming out of there, you expect them to put a 0 on the board. Well, guess what? You're in your third pitcher. Wood really struggled with his control, but you're asking a lot from your bullpen when your starter only goes 5.
Somewhere between pitch 1 and pitch 2 is where Tieford wants to throw the ball. He's missed badly up and in and badly down and away. There's one right in between for a strike.
Well, he's showing you Fox track on this at bat for Joe Mauer where each pitch is. The first one up, the other one down. That one hit the outside after the plate.
Mauer, uncharacteristically for him, struggling against left-handed pitching. There's a base hit, and it'll score 2 more. Nishioka and Revere both score, and Mauer delivers his second hit of the ball game, and it's a 4-run inning.
Yeah, big 2-run single right there by Joe Mauer. So back-to-back singles. Tieford fell behind. He had to come in with a pitch, and Joe just hit it the other way. Actually pulled this ball, excuse me. Well, Mauer picking up RBI number 10 and 11 on the year. And Ned Yost coming out to make another pitching change. And the Twins take an 8-3 lead.
This is a
beautiful swing.
Kind of performance we saw from the Kansas City bullpen so many times over the years, but it's a rarity this year. The Twins have another 4-run inning and still looking for more in the 7th. Seven walks, 4 of those guys have scored, and now it's Lewis Coleman's turn.
Yeah, Coleman, a crossfire type of delivery. Good moving fastball, hard slider, and a changeup, making his 28th relief appearance. Only 18 hits allowed in 31 in the 3rd innings, but 15 walks, 5 intentional with 38 strikeouts.
Strike 1. Kadire has walked 3 times, scored once. And Kadire wants something changed in right center field. Joe West is going to come over.
The light was on out there or something. Kadire pointing at something.
Popped up, short right field. Deep enough perhaps to score the runner. Francoeur charges and throwing to the plate. And KCA stays put. He's already been thrown out once in tonight's game, out number 2.
Well, again, you respect the arm right there of Francoeur. He has the most outfield assists in the major league since 2005. He got behind that ball the right way. I mean, he charged that ball, set himself up to make a good throw toward home plate.
Now Valencia got one of the biggest hits of the ballgame for the Twins with 2 outs after Kadire had walked. Valencia rifled a double into the right field corner. Kadire scored, and the Twins ended up scoring 4 times that inning, and now 4 times more here in the 7th. There's strike 1. Chip foul. 2 strikes.
Well, you look at Coleman's delivery. I mean, where he steps, he really throws across his body. That ball is almost coming from the shortstop. Another young pitcher in that bullpen, 25 years old.
Texas Rangers had a guy, Roger Pavlik, who threw similar. He was a starting pitcher for most of his career, effective for a few years, but he had the same type of delivery where he'd almost step toward his third base dugout and then throw across his body. Valencia hangs in there and gets a foul ball.
I remember talking to Bob McClure when I saw Coleman in Kansas City, asked about his delivery, and he said, you know what he does is even though he steps across his body, you can see he gets over his body, doesn't recoil. So his arm does go all the way through. So that's just the way he's always thrown.
Checked his swing on a pitch that broke in front of the plate.
Sam Holbrook at first base saying that he did not go, but it looked like a pretty good pitch.
You never liked that phrase, did you? It broke in front of the plate.
No.
Two and two.
Well, you just missed by a quarter of an inch.
That was like a hanging breaking ball, and Valencia swung through it. Still a good inning for the Twins. Patient at the plate. Got a big hit from Mauer and 4 more runs up on the board. This season, subscribe to MLB.tv today. You'll see every Twins game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. You can visit twinsbaseball.com to order. Get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. In-market blackout rules do apply. With the Twins tacking on 4 more runs, it's not Glenn Perkins. Instead, Jose Majaras, who comes out to pitch to the Royals in the 8th.
Yeah, Majaras making his 32nd relief appearance. Needs a good 1-2-3 inning here. The only 1-2-3 inning came last inning for Liriano in the top of the 7th inning. So Majaras, who's worked 19 2/3 innings, 17 walks, a thing that he would like to improve on in the second half of the season, with 12 strikeouts.
Alex Gordon leading off for the Royals in the 8th. And ball 1. All the things that you said about Liriano and his struggles with his control as a starting pitcher could be said for Majaras as a relief pitcher. How many times does Majaras get ahead of a batter 0-1? Jason Repko in left field.
Yeah, you said it before. Sometimes his outing doesn't start till he's 3-0 on the hitter. Then he starts, throwing strikes.
2-1. Gordon, Butler, and Hosmer.
And that's the pitch right there you need to control, and that's where we've seen Majaras, and Liriano miss with that fastball. You have a 5-run lead right here. Last thing you want to do is walk that leadoff hitter. Basically, here it is, Alex Gordon. See what you do with it. Throw it down the middle of the plate.
Yeah, he does.
And you have to do it again.
Oh, just look what the Twins did with the walks in the bottom of the 7th. They took 3 walks. All 3 guys scored. They got 4 runs on just 2 hits. Full count to Gordon. And he missed.
Well, see, he tried a slider right there. Why? Why a slider? Why would Joe Mauer call a slider when you back off?
Outdoor enthusiasts, Fox Sports North Outdoors is your home for the best outdoor programming every Saturday and Sunday morning. You can learn about fishing and hunting, camping. Fox Sports North Outdoors presented by Menards. Saturdays at 6 in the morning. And Sundays at 8 in the morning on Fox Sports North. Here's Billy Butler. Because of his history, and the Twins have seen Majaras struggle with his control, you can imagine there's probably a pretty short leash on him right now in terms of this game. This is a very important series and a very important game for the Twins. They've got control of it, and they don't want Majaras to start walking the bases full. 1-1. Perkins warmed up once. It wouldn't take him long, I wouldn't think, to warm up a second time.
Well, I think Rick Anderson felt the same way I did when he kind of took a little stroll to get a drink, because why a 3-2 slider with a 5-run lead?
Lifted foul into the seats, 1-2.
To use the word steaming right now for Rick Anderson.
All right. High fastball, just blew him away. One away.
Well, Butler striking out for the second time, 0 for 4 in a ball game. A good high fastball right here. Mauer wanting it inside, and that ball up, but had some juice on it.
Here's Hosmer. Pulled a double into the corner, leading off the 6th inning, but in Liriano's 6th inning, he got the next 3 batters. And in essence, the Royals wasted their leadoff double, and there's a first pitch strike. And you look at Hosmer, Moustakas, and all these guys, and the Royals are hopeful that as soon as next year they can contend. But then you look at Alex Gordon, and he's now come into his own in his 5th year. And there wasn't anybody more highly touted than Alex Gordon. He had to make a position change to finally give the Royals what they were looking for, a middle of the order type of threat with the bat. Fouled away, so you can understand the Royals very optimistic about these guys, but sometimes you don't know what players are going to do when they make that final jump, or how long it will take them to be the player you think they can be.
You know what, the Royals have had such frustrating seasons that they've been able to go out and get first-round draft picks. Remember the Tampa Bay Rays went through that when they first, started. They couldn't win any ball games. They got the first-round draft pick. Well, guess what? They went to the World Series against the Phillies, even though they lost in Maharis. But they got some good, young, talented kids. And I think that's what Dayton Moore, that's what he's trying to do in Kansas City. Get these kids up here, and then Latham gets them at bats to see how they can do. Hosmer taking a pitch right down the middle, and Maharis picks up his second straight strikeout.
And that'll bring up Francoeur. Up and away, ball one.
I think that's all you can do as a ball club. That's all you can do as an organization. Hope that these kids do develop. You let them go through the minor league system, and it's baby steps. But boy, when they come here, this is one big giant step.
Well, the Twins went through it too. For a while, it looked like Scott Stahoviak was going to be a fixture at first base. Todd Walker was going to be at second. Rich Becker was going to be in center. Marty Cordova in left. And of those four, Cordova was the only one who had a substantial major league career. Well, I shouldn't say that. Todd Walker bounced around a lot. Up and away, and Maharis continuing a pattern. He walked the first guy, struck out the next two. Now it's 3-0 to Francoeur.
I think, Dick, sometimes it's how your approach is the more mental than the physical. There's so many ups and downs in a game of baseball. When you're down, it's sometimes hard to get back up.
That's why you have to credit what Joe Madden did in Tampa, and so far what Clint Hurdle's doing in Pittsburgh to change the level of expectation and at the same time build the confidence of a young roster.
That's what Ned Yost is trying to do here. Nobody's put the ball in play. Maharis has walked two batters and struck out two.
And two men aboard, and Moustakas will take his swing, presumably, against Maharis. And an exasperated manager and pitching coach are on the phone down to the bullpen.
I wonder if Maharis, I'm watching the velocity in Maharis, it's been clocked as high as 89. It used to be 91 to 93.
It's Alex Burnett, and there you see Perkins taking off the warm-up.
He had that sore elbow that put him on a disabled list in the middle of May.
Moustakas with a double in 3 trips. Slow breaking ball over for strike one. Inside.
You look at a young Mike Moustakas, only 22 years old. Last year between AA and AAA, hit 36 home runs, drove in 104 runs combined. That's why the Royals are so high on this young man. And he hit only 322.
The ball's put in play, and it should end the inning. Luke Hughes with the catch, and the Royals strand a couple in the 8th.
Minnesota 8, Kansas City 3. Stay with us after the game for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. It includes the Toyota post-game wrap. We'll take a look at the power of Plouffe. Trevor Plouffe is back from Rochester, and with a bang, our instruction will take you to the mound, and we'll break down the recoil of Francisco Liriano, and we'll hear from the manager in the press conference with Ron Gardenhire. Guys, Twins getting off on the right foot here to start the unofficial second half of the season. 8-3, take it away, boys.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Yeah, kind of a slow start for the Twins in the ball game, both in the field at the plate, but they finally took the lead. Now lead by 5. And the Kansas City Royals All-Star Aaron Crow comes into the ball game. Outside ball 1 to Jason Repko.
Yeah, Crow in his rookie season, just 24 years old, making the All-Star team. Great numbers for Aaron Crow. He's making his 37th relief appearance. Another very good ERA out of that bullpen at 2.08.
2-1. Crow, the surprise pick for Ron Washington to represent the Kansas City Royals, their lone All-Star. Repko has his average up to 250 after a slow start. Bouncer left side with Stockless gobbles it up. 1 away. Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Guy who was hitting in Repko's spot, Delman Young, who jumped back in the lineup with a 3-hit night.
That's great to see. Delman Young a double to lead off the second inning, and then an RBI double in that 4-run 5th inning. Then he started the 4-run inning in the 7th inning with a base hit up the middle. So Delman Young, very good night at the plate. Scored a run, also drove in a run.
Trevor Plouffe with the turnaround at bat for the Twins. The Twins were down a run. He hit a 2-run home run. The Twins were up a run and haven't trailed since.
I want to say happy 21st wedding anniversary to Bob and Mary McWilliams at Grand Forks. Good hard slider there by Crow.
Foul tip. Pena hangs on. Out number 2. We'll bring up Luke Hughes.
It looked like he went back to that hard slider. Plouffe got a piece of it right into the glove of Pena.
Hughes with a single and a sacrifice bunt. 1 for 3. Wasn't in the original starting lineup. Jim Thome wanted another day. So Plouffe went from the from the first baseman to the DH, and Hughes filled in at first base. That's deep to right field. Francoeur back, makes the catch on the warning track. 3 up, 3 down in the 8th for Aaron Crow. The Twins leading 8-3. Stay tuned for the Gander Mountain Weekend weather update for Twins territory. Twins let the Royals score the first 3 runs, but they scored the next 8. They're in position to start the second half of the year, the post-All-Star part of the season, with a win.
Yeah, very good. I mean, the Twins came in, winning the last 4, sweeping the Royals in Kansas City. But here tonight, they fell down early, but put 2 4s on the board. 4 in the bottom of the 5th and 4 in the bottom of the 7th. Joe DeMatre coming out of the bullpen, making his 20th relief appearance. 17 1/3 innings for DeMatre.
He'll face Pena, Escobar, and Getz here in the Kansas City ninth. Pass ball away. Ball 1. Two and oh. Trying to pin down the win for Francisco Liriano. It would be Liriano's 6th win of the year, and the starting staff in position to have a year maybe like last year where all the guys get 10 or more wins. Liriano would have his 6th win. Dunsing has 6. Pavano has 6. Baker and Blackburn each have 7. 2-2. Anthony Swarzak would be the 6th starter, and he may get a chance to start in the doubleheader on Monday. There's a liner to center, and Revere will take it against his midsection. It's a leadoff single for Pena.
Pena gets his 2nd hit of the ball game.
Big series coming up next weekend. The Twins and Tigers 1 week from today at Target Field, and it's a Sports Authority value pack game. You can purchase a ticket in the U.S. Bank home run porch and get a free Schweigert's hot dog and Pepsi. Tickets are limited for next Thursday's game, so call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. I believe, barring a rainout or a juggling of the plans for the Tigers, that'll be Justin Verlander start against the Twins here on Thursday.
You know, Dick, I was just looking back at June 2nd when the Twins, were 16.5 games back. The starters combined at that time were 13-24 with an ERA of 4.58. Okay, 13-24.
Right.
With Liriano wins here tonight, Twins hold on and win. The starters would be back to 500, 33-33 with an ERA under 4. That's how well the starters have pitched over the, this will be 36 games since June 2nd.
So then the question is, with all the injuries to the position players, the starters have been relatively healthy. Baker had a little bit of an elbow issue. Why? Why the turnaround? Why were the starters able to hit the switch or whatever and pitch so much better after June 1st?
Well, I think, we talked about it in the open. I think offensively they gave them some more run support early. I think that always helps. I think guys, a lot. I mean, the first 2 months, how many games were played on the road?
Yeah.
This is where you want to win at home. With a win here tonight, the Twins are 21-19. When back in June at home, they were 6-15. So they've come a long way here at Target Field.
2-2. That's dumped down the right field line, and a base hit that rolls past Kadire. It'll be a double for Escobar. The Royals trying to start something here in the ninth. Second and third, nobody out.
Kadire kind of had his momentum going to hope that ball would kind of, hit and come to him.
Yeah, it had a little counter spin to it. A single and an error charge to Kadire.
You can see Kadire's momentum keeps him going, and then the ball came back toward the outfield side.
So second and third, nobody out. DeMatre just trying to get an out at this point. On the phone, active again. That Caps is warming up right now. Another man reaches. It would be a save situation, believe it or not. Down and away, ball 1. Gets a single in 4 trips. It's on the outside corner, 1-1. It's blocked by Mauer, 2-1. Capps and Perkins both warming up here, with DeMatre giving up a couple of hits. Two and two. Twins have made 2 trips to Kansas City. This is the Royals' second trip here. Final trip of the year for Kansas City is the very end of the season. As meaningful as the games are now, Twins are hoping that last 3-game series against the Royals will be a very dramatic one. That's back to DeMatre. He looks the runner back to third and gets his out. 1 down.
Well, nice play right here by DeMatre. You get a ground ball hit back at you. You pick up that runner at third. Exactly what he did. Pena going down the line a little bit, and then he sees DeMatre. He heads back to third, and then you get the out at first.
And now Melky Cabrera. Hits his first 2 times up. Fly ball center field. Revere is there. Pena will tag and score. And in fact, both runners will move up. It's a sacrifice fly. And an 8-4 ball game.
Cabrera picking up an RBI, his 52nd of the year.
And that'll bring up Alex Gordon. Twins trying to continue their mastery against the Royals, although earlier this year the Royals had actually won 4 straight,
right,
including a 3-game sweep in Kansas City.
Well, Twins lead the season series right now 5-4.
Alex Gordon, last hope for the Royals, reached twice on a fielder's choice, or a couple of them, a single and a walk. And DeMatre delivers strike 1. Detroit idle. Cleveland's already won. So if the Twins hang on and win this ball game, they'll still stay 6.5 games back. This will be a virtual tie for the division lead between Detroit and Cleveland. 1-1. Ooh, 2-1.
Now with Detroit idle, Dick, and the Twins win, wouldn't they just be at 6 games back then?
I beg your pardon. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They do pick up a half a game.
Yep, you're right. Yep. Sorry.
Just not on Cleveland. Cleveland would be tied with Detroit.
Two and 2 to Alex Gordon. That ball gets by Mauer, but Escobar stays put. See that California high school math. Every once in a while comes in handy.
Very, very seldomly does. That ball gets underneath the glove of Joe, but he did slow it down a little bit, and Escobar stayed at third base.
Full count to Gordon.
39,584 fans here tonight.
Got him looking. So the Twins give up the first 3 runs, but come back and win 8-4. Anthony LaPanta. Twins survived kind of a rough start to this game and ended up on top.
Gives them 10 wins in their last 13 games, and they start the second half of the season in perfect fashion. We'll show you how they did it. We'll hear from Ron Gardenhire and look at the power of Trevor Plouffe next on Twins Live.
Hi, Gordon.